Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer unit tips and recommendations. I am currently working on the Orks. The next unit we're going to discuss is the Weirdboy. He's definitely one of my favorite Ork units. He does a very good job at everything that he does, and he only costs 125 points, so he's definitely a steal for everything that he can do. His main thing is he's used for both buffing your units and debuffing the enemy units here. For 125 points, you get a lot of different utility here. But before I get started, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. So for those 125 points, you get a 200 HP unit that has 2 AP, 4 movement, 4 armor, and 5 evasion. As you can probably deduce, with that low armor and lower HP, he is quite squishy, so you need to keep him back so he's not going to get sniped. He can do some melee damage, which you can see here with his Weirdboy staff. He has 2 attacks, each one the base damage does 30 to 40 damage, and it will splash to one unit, doing 18 to 24 with an armor piercing of 4, and he's got a baseline accuracy of 95%. So he typically can hit, but with that kind of damage, he's not always going to kill the unit he does hit, so he will get counterattacked pretty regularly. So what I'd recommend, if you are going to have to get him into a melee range, you'd want to do your first attack where you're charging in there, so they won't get the counterattack on you if you don't kill the model, and then the second attack with the splash damage will most likely get the kill, and that way it'll prevent you from taking unnecessary damage. Now, he has 3 different abilities. The first one is the Jab and Fingers. And what this does is the Weirdboy focuses on an enemy within 5 tiles and jabs itself in the eye, leaving the target temporarily blind. So pretty much at a range of 5, you put this on an enemy unit and they get minus 40% accuracy, minus 10% evasion, and it lasts for 3 turns. And it works on both vehicles and infantry units, so it's nice to do these on like the Predator tanks or other high value units or HQ units, things that you need to not do tons of damage to you, or that have higher evasion and you're having difficulty getting the kills on, because those 2 things will stack up. So it's really nice to do on, say, the enemy Bloodthirsters is kind of my favorite unit to do it on, because unless they're getting rear attacks, if they're sitting there using their wing ability, that already gives them an accuracy debuff, and then you throw this on top of it, now all of a sudden they have like a 60% accuracy hit, and unless they're doing the rear attacks where they get bonus accuracy, they'll miss the attacks fairly frequently. So this thing can definitely work wonders for you. His by far strongest ability is the Warpath, and what this does is affects all allies within 2 tiles, and it literally does affect all units, so both infantry and vehicles. So this is one of the few things that will buff vehicles in the game, and it gives all those units plus 15% damage and minus 10% damage received bonus, and it lasts for 2 turns, and this cools down every 3 turns. Now, if you watched my War Boss video, you are aware that the Warpath ability will bug out the War Boss's ability. That gives all melee units plus 10 accuracy and 15% melee damage. And as we verified before, if you have multiple War Bosses out on the field, this ability is called the War Boss is watching, is what the indicator icon will be on your units, and it stacks. So if you have 2, you're getting 20 accuracy for melee and 30% melee damage. So then if you're having the Warpath, you're losing damage, but you gain the debuff. But then once this wears off, the game glitches out and doesn't reapply the War Boss's watching ability. So it can be very frustrating. So you just need to be very cautious with how you're doing this, so you don't end up screwing yourself. Because part of the reason the War Boss is so expensive for a HQ commander is because of that stacking melee buff, and so it's really disappointing that this Warpath cancels it out, because if you were to able to stack this on that and then give some more damage reduction with the big mech, you could do some crazy death balls, is what I tend to call it, or Death Stars, death balls, whatever you want to call it, when you have all these high tier infantry all together getting all these buffs from the HQ commanders here. But certainly for these units like the War Bike or the Death Copter, especially any ranged units that wouldn't get the benefit of the War Boss ability, it doesn't really matter if they lose that and they gain the Warpath ability instead. So he will buff all units, both melee and ranged, whereas the War Boss only buffs melee unit, so just be aware of that. And then his last ability is the Headbanger, and that allows him to fire a bolt of raw psychic energy, dealing 60 to 80 HP damage, and has an armor piercing of 7, and this has a 100% chance to hit. So even units that have really good evasion, anything like that, this will always land attacks. So it just makes it pretty helpful, and I think it has an armor. It has a range of 4 if I remember correctly. So it's nice that this works. Ideally, you know, again, now I'm not talking about the Tyranids now, but I think the what is he called? Not the Hive Tyrant, the Gene Stealer hero, if he had a little more range for his accuracy debuffs like this, then he would be like a must-take unit. But unfortunately, he has only a range of 3, so not quite as important. But this is definitely an excellent ability here. So I have a different kind of force selection than we had last time. I'll kind of show off how he buffs the ranged units. Again, his buffs do affect vehicles, but at 1500 points, I couldn't quite bring them out. And then I'll try to glitch out the abilities here with the War Boss and the Warpath here, just so you guys can kind of see what happens there. So let's set up a match and see what we can do. It looks like we're playing against the Tyranids this time. Or not Tyranids, Necrons. And that's actually one of the forces that are really, really good against the Orks. So, yeah, they don't have a super good force setup here to go against against the Necrons, but that's all good. Alright, and let's make one of the Weirdboys. Actually, let's make the Big Mech our HQ commander. Because the big thing with the Big Mech is then he also gives a damage. I didn't really show you on this up on the other screen, but he has a 2x2 range where he reduces range damage by 10%, 20% for himself. So he can definitely pay some dividends for you here to keep your units alive, especially against the Necrons.
What's the plan? Cyborg legs ready to go. Getting warmer.
Alright, Flash gets.
What's there? I can feel a scrap coming. Orks always win.
Alright, so you can see the boss is watching. Buff is applied to this guy. But it's not going to do much because, again, we're not going to really use those as melee units, right? So. Alright, let's bring these guys up here.
I think I can stitch that back.
Put you there.
If we have to, we'll move.
I guess we'll just put you up here. You can be over this way.
Getting warmer. Coming this way will get them killed. There. More fuel for the fire.
Alright.
Made to fight. So let's fight!
Alright, so the Warpath is here.
What's not on fire?
So let's move you guys up. We're going to bring you here.
Old ways is best.
And then if I bring these guys over this way, this should hit pretty much most of them. So we'll do that.
Orks always win.
And now it's still showing up there for now, so let's see if it keeps going.
Looters have the best shooters.
Bring you here. I'll let you flame into these guys. Nice.
Something to burn.
Question is do I want to take out one of you? I think for you, I'd rather you fight these guys down. Alright, somebody get up. Yep, you're getting up. Not shocked. Do a little bit of that.
Orks is the best, and us flash kits are the best.
Bring you here. Let you shoot into these guys.
Moving our substantial riches out.
And I would like to get there, but oh, here's what we can do. Bring you down here. Smoke these guys. They're down.
What's not on fire?
Ooh.
Something to
Well,
burn.
I guess we're gonna pull you back. I hate to do that,
We're up to touch.
but they're pretty tanky, so we can bring you up this way to fire into here.
Ready to saw bones. Fired up, boss. Something
I
to
should have moved
burn.
you first. Well, we'll flame through the war boss, since he's got all the bonus HP, so then he'll just be dead.
What's not on fire?
You can shoot into here and kill those guys.
If we have to.
Move you up to here. Do any of these guys have living lightning? These guys do. Of course, you can't get there, of course. So we'll just put the blind on those guys instead.
Tinkering. Custom
You can
blasters
use
are
your
working nicely.
that here, and you can come over this
I
way,
think I could stitch that back.
and you can come over this way. Start smacking these guys down. God, they miss way more than you'd think they would. Alright, and you can shoot into these guys. I'll get you up a little bit. And these guys can smoke these guys down. And you can start working here.
Ready to saw bones.
I suspect these guys are going to be warping in on me.
What? Treatment for you.
And that's the force field that reduces their damage.
Pathetic little shooter. We was made to fight.
Alright.
So let's fight.
Well, I guess you are going to be flaming here. You can work attacking here. And you can attack again. And you start working these guys down. And smoke another one. Good. Gonna stay down? Nope, somebody's up. Two of them are up.
Something to burn.
Actually, you can come down here and flame through these guys. And you can attack here. Boop. Like that. Come down here, smoke these guys. Ooh, I thought you were gonna get the kill for sure.
What now?
Alright, we'll run you up here to shoot into these guys. As you can see, these flamers are really good against the Ork boys. Or the Necron boys. And they can't empower anything. And they have pyromaniacs, so they get plus 15% momentum gains, but if they don't use their points, they end up losing a lot of stuff, so you definitely want to use them to get as many kills as you can here. So...
What's the plan?
Alright, you got a 56% chance to hit, so go ahead and shoot into here. Oh shit, that was an accident.
What's not on fire?
Didn't quite look at that one very well. Alright, you got 64, that's a much better chance to hit. So drop those guys down.
Orks is the best, and us flashkits are the best orks.
Bring you up here.
Humans have the best shooters. Orks always win, even when we don't. Something to burn. Need your gubbins fixed up. What now?
I think we better pull you guys back. Bring you up here, do a little bit of that. And he did the damage, he didn't get the heal. That's definitely a bummer. Alright, so they're blind, but those are the ones that have the living lightning, so they're the ones we want to kill.
What's the plan?
Because they will do the most damage to us. Alright, you come there, you come here.
Orks is the best, and us flashkits are the best orks.
Yeah, those burner boys, man, sure can take a hit.
I think I can stitch that back. Cyborg legs, ready to go. Something to burn.
Alright, bring you over this way. And so you can see that the War Bosses watching thing has now disappeared from their abilities here, unfortunately.
We was made to fight, so let's fight! Tinkering!
Yeah, see, he's getting attacked yet.
He's looking at me.
Well, let's charge over here. Smack those guys. And hit him again.
The old ways is best.
Get you up here. Start smoking these guys down. Good job. Smack again. So we gotta get him as much points as we can.
Getting warmer. Looters have the best shooters. Need your gubbins fixed up.
Alright, and you can shoot here. Oh, really? You missed. Was not expecting that.
Love crumpet, but is this a good idea? I knows you's looking at me. What is it?
Alright. Let's move you over here.
If we have to, we'll move. What's the plan?
Alright, you can come over this way, I guess.
Ready to saw bones. What's not on fire? 3 more rolls in there. 4 bodies.
Shit.
Orks always win, even when we don't. This man's
Not good.
something to burn.
See, I don't really want him to get kills. That's the problem. Alright, let's let you charge into here, I guess. Alright, that's 15.
I think I could stitch that back.
Alright, Warpath.
He's with us. We are engaged. What now?
Alright, you can come there, you can come here.
Getting warmer.
Alright, you guys are gonna need to come down here to try to help the damage. Turn your backs with everybody else, so hopefully they attack you.
Coming this way will get them killed. The old ways is best.
Alright, there's that.
I knows you's looking at me. The old ways is best.
Alright, you're up to 70 something.
So fingers.
Alright, you're up. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna die, and I'm not gonna be able to get this guy up to where I need him to be for points here. 'Cause I think even if he resurrects, we're not gonna be there.
Let's get moving. What's not on fire?
Yeah. Alright, well I'll have to set up another match here to show the empowered abilities, unfortunately. So I'll upload that here. Okay, so for our empowered abilities, if you're going to empower the Jabbin' Fingers, you can end up increasing the accuracy debuff to 60% and the evasion to -20 or to -25. And the empowered warpath ability extends it for an additional square for a total of 3 tiles. The damage increases to 25%, and the damage buff is -20%, and it still lasts for 2 turns. Now the cooldown is only for 1 turn, but you'd want to be very careful that you wouldn't, end up using the warpath and cancel out the empowered warpath area. So you just have to be a little cautious with that. And then the empowered headbanger increases the damage to 112 to 150 with an armor piercing of 9. Doesn't affect the cooldown at all. So definitely has some good empowered abilities. I like all of the Weirdboy abilities here. They're not super hard to get into a momentum here. I was able to kind of position guys to snipe a couple of HQ units and do it, especially when you have the warpath and other abilities being on here. They can do kind of pretty consistent, decent damage here. But hopefully that helps you get an idea of what you need to do to use the Weirdboys. But as you can see, the Weirdboy definitely has some utility. He can really buff up a lot of your range units, help them do more damage. He can debuff enemy HQ commanders and other high-value targets, and he can do decent damage against single targets every couple turns when he's using that headbanger ability. And then again, for 125, you can make him your HQ commander, which will allow you to just sit back and spam the Ork command abilities as well. So definitely a lot of utility, and a unit I strongly recommend that you bring out with you when you're playing multiplayer matchups, because it'll help you take out your enemies and get a lot of bang for your buck, because at 125 he's definitely able to do some things for you. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.